Vocabulary. Topic: Energy. Natural resources. 1. Types of natural resources. Fossil fuels. Example: fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas are depleting at an alarming rate. Mineral deposits. Example: countries rich in mineral deposits often rely on them for economic development. Raw materials. Example: many industries are heavily dependent on raw materials extracted from the earth. Non-renewable resources. Example: non-renewable resources are being consumed faster than they can be replenished. 2. Drawbacks of using natural resources. Resource depletion. Example: the rapid rate of resource depletion poses a serious threat to future generations. Over-extraction. Example: over-extraction of minerals and timber is leading to widespread environmental degradation. Habitat destruction. Example: mining activities often result in habitat destruction, endangering wildlife species. Deforestation. Example: deforestation for agricultural purposes is contributing to climate change. Carbon footprint. Example: burning fossil fuels significantly increases the carbon footprint of industrialized nations. Alternative fuels and energy. 1. Types of alternative energy. Renewable energy. Example: renewable energy sources like wind and solar are becoming increasingly popular. Solar power. Example: solar power is a clean, renewable energy source that can be harnessed in most regions. Wind energy. Example: wind energy is one of the fastest growing renewable energy sectors worldwide. Hydropower. Example: hydropower provides a significant portion of the world's electricity needs. Geothermal energy. Example: Iceland uses geothermal energy to power homes and heat water, taking advantage of its volcanic activity. Tidal and wave energy. Example: the May Gen project in Scotland is one of the largest tidal power stations in the world. Hydrogen energy. Example: hydrogen fuel cells are used in some electric vehicles as an alternative to traditional batteries. Biofuels. Example: biofuels are an alternative to traditional fossil fuels and are derived from organic matter. 2. Benefits of alternative energy. Energy efficiency. Example: improving energy efficiency is crucial to reducing our dependence on non-renewable resources. Carbon neutrality. Example: many countries are striving for carbon neutrality by investing in renewable energy technologies. Energy independence. Example: investing in renewable energy sources can help nations achieve greater energy independence. Sustainable development. Example: renewable energy is essential for sustainable development in the face of climate change. Cost-effective. Example: in the long term, solar energy is more cost-effective than traditional electricity as the cost of solar panels continues to decrease. Environmentally friendly. Example: switching to wind and solar power is more environmentally friendly, as these sources produce no harmful emissions. Reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Example: by adopting renewable energy sources, we can reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate the effects of climate change. Reduce reliance on fossil fuels. Example: countries must reduce their reliance on fossil fuels and shift towards sustainable energy sources to combat climate change. Clean energy. Example: solar panels and wind turbines generate clean energy without producing pollution. Infinite resources. Example: solar and wind power are considered infinite resources because they are continuously replenished by natural processes. 3. Drawbacks of alternative energy. Intermittent. Example: one of the major drawbacks of solar and wind energy is their intermittent nature, as they depend on weather conditions. High initial costs. Example: although alternative energy sources can save money in the long run, their high initial costs can be a barrier for many individuals and businesses. Geographic limitations. Example: hydropower is highly efficient, but its use is subject to geographic limitations since it can only be implemented in areas with abundant water resources. Limited efficiency. Example, solar panels have a relatively limited efficiency, with a significant portion of sunlight not being converted into usable energy. Environmental impact. Example, while renewable energy is cleaner, the construction of large-scale wind farms or hydroelectric dams can still have a negative environmental impact on wildlife and ecosystems. Supply chain challenges. Example, the manufacturing and distribution of components for solar panels and wind turbines face supply chain challenges, especially in terms of raw materials. Interference with wildlife. Example, wind farms have been criticized for their interference with wildlife, particularly birds and bats that are sometimes killed by the turbine blades. Uncertain energy output. Example, the uncertain energy output from solar and wind power is a challenge for ensuring a consistent energy supply, especially during extreme weather. Energy policy and global trends.
Energy transition. Example, the global energy transition from fossil fuels to renewable energy is underway. Decarbonization. Example, decarbonization of the energy sector is a key goal in the fight against climate change. Energy security. Example, diversifying energy sources is vital to ensuring energy security in the future. Paris Agreement. Example, countries that sign the Paris Agreement are committed to limiting global warming to below 2 degrees C by reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Carbon tax. Example, many economists argue that a carbon tax would incentivize companies to reduce their carbon emissions. Energy diversification. Example, to reduce risks and enhance sustainability, countries are promoting energy diversification by investing in various renewable sources. Green technology. Example, innovations in green technology, such as solar panels and electric vehicles, are crucial for reducing global carbon emissions.